Hello and welcome to this video. In this video, I'm just going to explain how we can deal with dates. The Hello and welcome to this video. In this video, I'm going to demonstrate how we can deal with the date, the data type in Power BI, specifically in the Power Query Editor. It may happen sometimes that Power BI fails to identify data types for our columns correctly, especially date data types. And you want Power BI to identify your date columns as date because you also want to create reports that are date specific or reports that are according to dates, reports that are dated. And if your date column has not been identified correctly as a date column, that is going to be near impossible to do. So you want to take care of such kind of situations. Like in this instance here, I have a table called order details, and the order date has not been identified correctly as a date column. You can see here on the left of the column heading, it says ABC, which means that this column has been identified as a text column. So we need to change this date column, change the data type so that the column is identified as a date column. So for us to be able to do that, we need to identify two things first. First, we need to identify the date format that we have in our table here. So the date format starts with the day, and then it's followed by the month and then the year. And if we look at the system date that this computer is using, it starts with the year, the month, and then the day. Now, Power BI makes use of the system date. So for you to be able to change this data type to a date, you need to match the system date that Power BI is using. So of course, this data set is coming from a location that uses the day, the month, and the year, that format. So there is a mismatch now between the system date and the date that is in this data set. So we need to take care of that. So we need to tell Power BI to identify this date format. So how do we do that? We then right click on the column, we go to change type, and instead of simply saying date, because if we say date, let's just notice what happens. If we say date, it's going to render some of the rows as errors. So that is a problem now. Because Power BI has failed to recognize the date format that was in this order date column, it will not convert that date column correctly. So I will undo that step here. Just click on that X to undo that step. Then we go and do the correct thing now. We right click, we go to change type, and then instead of saying date, we now choose using locale. Now, what using locale does is that it is a dialog that will give you the chance to match the format of the date in the order date column with the format of the date in the system, or the format of the date that Power BI is using. So of course we want to change the data type. This data type has to be date here. It has to be date, and it's showing you that Power BI is using this locale, the South African locale, which has this date format. But this table is using a different locale, which is starting with the day and then the month and then the year. You want to tell Power BI that this data set is coming from a locale or from a location that is using a different date format from this date format that Power BI is using. So what do we tell Power BI now? We are telling it that this data set is coming from a location, like there are a lot of countries that use this date format, the day, month, year date format. A country like Singapore, if I choose that, I can see that it uses the day, month, year format. So this is exactly the same as this format that I have, a day, month, year. So I'm telling Power BI to to understand that this data set is using this locale or this date format from Singapore, and the type is date. So if I click on OK, I'm not going to have any errors in my column here, because Power BI is going to convert this column according to this data format that I have specified here, because this is telling Power BI to obey the date format that this column is in, and we are telling Power BI that this format is in the format that is coming from Singapore, which is this date for. So Power BI is going to correctly identify this format and convert this format to the local date format, or the date format that the system is using here, which Power BI is also using. The format that starts with the year, the month, and the date. So if I click on OK, we will notice that Power BI will convert these dates very, very correctly. So that's how we deal with dates that have not been identified correctly in Power BI. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.